back to the channel. Join me as I dive into the challenge of educating myself and others on how to protect our kids from the dangers of fentanyl, because every parent needs to know this.
Ready. Like and leave a comment down below.
All right, if you didn't know this, fentanyl is a synthetic opiate that's 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. It's often mixed with other drugs like heroin, cocaine, and it's even pressed into counterfeit pills that looks like prescription medication. And that's what makes it so deadly. Just a few grains of fentanyl, the size of a few grains of salt, can be lethal. We've all seen the headlines: teen died from overdose from taking counterfeit pills. Child finds fentanyl in the parents' medicine cabinets. These stories are real, and they're happening way too often. It's a crisis that's affecting the families all over the country, and it's getting worse by the day. Now, the thing is, most of us don't think it will happen to our kids. That's because we think we're doing everything right. We're protecting them from the dangers of the world. But the truth is, fentanyl can affect anyone, anywhere, regardless of their backgrounds and the upbringing. It's a threat that's lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike. If you like the content I'm bringing to you, please share, like, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I also want to share with you a story that really hits home with me. It's about a family who lost their 15-year-old son to fentanyl overdose. Now, he was a good kid, straight A student who loved sports, hanging out with his friends. But one day, he found some pills in his friend's backpack. They looked like the prescription medication that his mother took for anxiety. He took one, thinking it was going to be safe. Now, he died a few hours later. It's a tragedy that's become all too common. Now, I've spoken with many families who've lost someone to fentanyl, and their stories are all similar. They thought they were protecting their kids, but they didn't know about the dangers of the fentanyl. They didn't know that it could be hiding in plain sight, in pill form, or mixed with other drugs. They didn't even know that it could kill in just a few minutes. Now, one mom I spoke to told me that her 12-year-old daughter found a bag of pills in her dad's drawer. She took one thinking she could get a safe way to get a high. Now, she nearly died. The mom had no idea her husband was using drugs, and she had no idea that fentanyl was even a thing. Now, another family I talked to lost their 17-year-old son to fentanyl overdose. He was an athletic, a star student, and a great kid. But he got addicted to opiates after he had a sport injury and eventually turned to fentanyl. His parents had no idea he was using drugs, let alone fentanyl. They thought that they were doing the right things, but they didn't know the signs of drug use. Now, fentanyl is a silent killer, and it's affected families from all walks of life. It's not just about a problem for those kids, those families. It's a problem that affects all of us, and we need to start taking it very seriously. Now, I've spoken to one expert that told me that fentanyl has been manufactured on a massive scale, and it's flooding the markets. It's being mixed with other drugs, sold online. It's even being smuggled in our country. It's a crisis that requires a national response, and we need to start taking action. Now, I want to share a story with you that really illustrates the danger of fentanyl, about a 5-year-old boy who found a pile of pills on the floor of his mother's bedroom. They looked like candy to him, so he popped a few in his mouth. Within minutes, he was unresponsive. His mom found him and thought that he was sleeping. But when she couldn't wake him up, she knew something was really bad was wrong. She called 911 and the paramedics rushed him to the hospital. They administered a Narcan, but it was too late. The little boy had already succumbed to the fentanyl. His mom was devastated and she couldn't understand how this could have happened. She thought she had protected her child from the harm, but she didn't know about the dangers of that fentanyl. Now, the thing is, this story is not unique. It's happening all over the country in homes repeatedly over and over again. And it needs to stop. Now, so what can we do to protect our kids? The first step is to educate. We need to educate ourselves about the dangers of fentanyl, and then we need to educate our kids. We need to talk to them about the risk and the signs of drug use and about the importance of staying safe. Now, we also need to be vigilant. We need to check our homes for any sign of drug use. We also need to monitor our kids' activities online. We need to be aware of any changes in their behaviors, and we also need to be prepared to have tough conversations with them. Now, one of the most important things we could do, like I stated earlier, is talk to our kids about the dangers of the fentanyl. We need to explain to them why it's so dangerous and why they should never touch it. We need to be open and honest with them, and we also need to be willing to listen to their concerns. We also need to be aware of the signs of the drug use. We need to know what to look for, and we need to be prepared to take action if we suspect something's wrong. We also need to look for signs of overdose, such as slow breathing, blue lips, and we need to be prepared to administer Narcan if it's necessary. Now, another thing we could do is lock up any medication we have at the house. We also need to make sure they're out of reach of the kids, and we need to be careful about who we allow in our homes. We need to be mindful of any visitors who may be bringing drugs in our homes, and we also need to be prepared to take action if we suspect something wrong. Now, what we can take away from this conversation today, the first thing I done discussed, fentanyl is dangerous. It's graveyard dead. That poses a significant threat to our children. It's being mixed with other drugs, sold online. It's even being smuggled in our country. It's a crisis that requires a national response, and we need to start taking action. The second thing is education is the key. We need to educate ourselves and our kids, like I stated earlier, the dangers of fentanyl. And we need to be vigilant about spotting signs of drug use. We also need to be open and honest with our kids, and we also need to be willing to listen to their concerns. The third thing is that we need to be proactive. We need to take steps to protect our kids from fentanyl, such as locking up our medication, and being mindful of those visitors we're letting in the house. We need to be prepared to take actions if we suspect something is wrong, and we also need to be willing to take the necessary steps to keep our kids safe. I want to hear from you. Have you ever been affected by fentanyl? Or do you know someone who has been affected by fentanyl? Now, if you would, share your story down below and let's start a conversation about how we can keep our kids safe. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you want to learn more about fentanyl and how to protect your kids, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. We'll talk about some high-profile cases, death row inmates, correctional, and some correctional training. But we'll be posting more videos on drug preventions and safety for the children and the parents because we want to be part of it. We want to be part of helping and saving others. And like I said, thank you for watching the channel.
Like and leave a comment.